This is a project that has been completed 3 months ahead of schedule, and most importantly, under budget, within the uncertainties that have characterized the global petroleum industry, especially with deep water projects. I am particularly excited because this is a landmark event in the development of oil and gas in Ghana and the efforts of this country to ensure energy security for its people. Ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between ENI and Ghana dates nearly 60 years back to 1960 with projects in the downstream sector. That relationship led to the establishment of 2 strategic institutions. Initially, the Ghana Oil Company Limited, a company previously owned by Agip Ghana Limited, whose board chairman is with us today, and subsequently, the Ghana Italian Petroleum Company GAI, now Tema Oil Refinery, TOR. However, ENI returned to Ghana in 2009. Sector on the back of earlier discoveries made in the Jubilee field by the Jubilee partners. Obviously, the decision to invest in Ghana has paid off, and today we're witnessing on this occasion one of the major milestones of that decision. Ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that we are steadily working towards the realization of the vision of making Ghana a petroleum hub and establishing a petrochemical industry here. Not only that, but also ensuring sufficient, reliable, and affordable clean energy for power generation and supply in Ghana to support economic activities and keep the country on the right path to desired growth. I believe the attainment of this feat has been made possible due to consistent implementation of sector-related policies and programs aimed at creating the right business and investment climate to ensure the rapid and continuous development of the sector. It has been 10 years since Ghana made the historic discovery of oil and gas as a result of the bold and far-sighted policies of the Akufo-led MPP government. Indeed, the decision to restructure and reorganize the operations of GNPC to make the corporation focus on its core mandate of exploring for oil and gas and creating an enabling climate positively changed the operating environment. The then president played a truly seminal role in the development of the nation's oil and gas industry, and it is thus befitting to have the OCTP FPSO christened in his honor. As has been stated by the Minister for Energy, the OCTP project is an integrated plan for development of oil and gas. The second phase will be the development of gas. The gas project involves the development of natural gas and is expected to produce reliable volumes of gas estimated at over 170 million standard cubic feet per day into the Ghanaian market, enough to generate about 1,000 megawatts of electricity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Energy Minister has mentioned initiatives being pursued by the Petroleum Commission to expand Ghanaian participation in the oil and gas industry. This is one of the key initiatives by government, which outlines government's vision of full Ghanaian participation in all aspects of the upstream oil and gas value chain. Ghanaians have the spirit of entrepreneurship, and it is vital that they are empowered to engineer business growth and reduce the serious unemployment situation in our country. I understand that ENI has demonstrated significant commitment to Ghanaian participation, and working with the Petroleum Commission has increased in-country activity, spending, and employment of Ghanaians. It is gratifying to see this morning our young Ghanaians on the FPSO trained to manage the hydrocarbon production and processing from the field as technicians and supervisors. I've been informed by the Petroleum Commission that over 100 Ghanaians, representing nearly 60% of the workforce, are involved in the operation and maintenance of the FPSO John Akufo-Addo. This is in addition to the many that worked in the conversion of the facility in Singapore. I saw them on the vessel and salute them for their energy, enthusiasm, and commitment. They are excellent examples of Ghanaian youth. As has been stated, more than 1.8 billion United States dollars worth of contracts have been awarded to indigenous Ghanaian companies under this project. I urge ENI and its partners to continue to work with the Petroleum Commission to move Ghanaian participation to even greater heights. Furthermore, the second phase of this project will rely on the support services of small and medium-scale enterprises as part of the supply chain development, thereby creating opportunities for new and existing businesses in the country. In particular, for those engaged in farming and fishing, this project presents a great opportunity to a new market, as many people employed under this project will need to be fed. I urge our youth to go into farming under our Planting for Food and Jobs program and other advantages to take advantage of this opportunity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this project and other existing ones in the Western region will open up the region for infrastructural development and consequent economic growth. This is in line with the grand plan of making the Western region a key growth pole for the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the oil industry is increasingly become an important contributor to our national economy. The significance of the petroleum sector in the Ghanaian economy is evident in its share of gross domestic product, exports, and government revenues. Hence, efficient management of petroleum resources and its associated revenues is a national priority. We shall prudently manage our petroleum resources with a long-term perspective for the benefit of Ghanaian society as a whole. By judiciously managing our petroleum resource, we shall provide added revenues to the country to ensure the welfare of our people, promote employment, improve the environment, and strengthen trade and industrial development in Ghana. In this regard, and in accordance with our manifesto's policy objectives, government will pursue the following important aims for the oil and gas sector: ensuring that the petroleum sector remains a significant contributor to financing nationwide industrial development, and thus generating resources that can be used for rapid development of national infrastructure, for increasing agricultural productivity, accelerating job creation, and facilitating the building of national capacity to enhance advanced technologies, and for enabling a paradigm shift in the structure of the economy towards increased industrial value-added production, laying the basis for continued development of the petroleum sector by ensuring that our petroleum industry remains an attractive area for investment, promoting the linkages of the petroleum sector with other sectors of the economy, and avoiding the curse of the sector remaining an enclave, improving transparency in the management of our oil and gas resources through our commitment to the full implementation of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act and strengthening of the Public Interest Accountability Committee to enhance further transparency and accountability in the oil and gas sector. Pursuing ambitious resource and environmental management policies based on the goals of a sustainable petroleum business and coexistence between the petroleum sector, fisheries, and other industries, as well as the environment. Developing in collaboration with the private sector, the Western region into a regional oil service hub with a first-class ports facility, and aggressively investing in education and skills enhancement of Ghanaians to manage the sector through the Accelerated Oil and Gas Capacity Development Program. The accomplishment of these objectives, ladies and gentlemen, will help us fulfill our vision for the energy sector to become a modern, diversified, efficient, and financially sustainable energy economy that will ensure that all Ghanaian homes and industries have access to adequate, reliable, affordable, and environmentally sustainable supply of energy to meet their needs and to support the accelerated growth and development we all desire for the country. The role of the petroleum sector, especially the natural gas subsector, in achieving this vision is self-evident. It is expected that indigenous gas production will not only offer the nation a clean energy source, but also cost-effective fuel for power generation on a reliable basis. It is good to note that the operator ENI is committed to a zero gas flaring policy, and as such, no gas will be flared or wasted under normal operating conditions, except of course for the minimal technical volume required to maintain safe operations. I strongly entreat the Petroleum Commission and EPA to collaborate effectively to ensure that this policy is strictly adhered to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize that it is the expectation of government and the people of Ghana that the OCTP partners, particularly the operator, will ensure prudent management of this project to achieve cost efficiency. This is the only way we can guarantee a low gas price and eventually low electricity tariffs to stimulate our development. Fellow Ghanaians, with the addition of the production from the OCTP to those of the TEN and Jubilee field, we are optimistic that our beloved nation will enhance significantly its gas supply for our domestic power generation. We are not resting on our oars. The government, through the Ministry of Energy, Petroleum Commission and GNPC, is working closely with other licensees and contractors to ensure that our petroleum resources are exploited in a sustainable manner for the benefit of the people of Ghana. The need for creative thinking to leverage our oil and gas production for national development is a charge for us to keep, and we must not fail our people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, I want to oblige the Petroleum Commission and the operator ENI to take necessary steps. The activities of this project are carried out in a safe manner to safeguard life, property, and the environment. I commend ENI again, Ghana once again, for their significant contribution to the local community to date, even before the start of commercial production. I encourage them to continue in this step to obtain maximum benefits for the people of Ghana. I'd like to reiterate government's continued support for the establishment of an enabling climate to make Ghana the energy hub of the West Africa region. Once again, let me restate that it is wholly appropriate for this FPSO to be named John Agyekum-Kufuor. 17 years ago, during his presidential campaign, candidate John Agyekum-Kufuor gave a solemn pledge to the people of this city, this region, and the country that if elected, his government will concentrate attention to discovering oil in commercial quantities. The fulfillment of that promise is what has brought us all here today. We are a most grateful nation, Your Excellency. I believe God will be on our side once again under another NPP administration to strike more oil and gas. President Kufuor made it happen offshore. The focus now is also to explore opportunities onshore. That is why my government is committed to intensifying efforts towards the discovery of oil and gas onshore in the Voltaigne Basin. The commitment of the National Oil Company, GNPC, to find oil and gas in the Voltaigne Basin is reassuring, and I'm delighted about this bold step. My government is totally committed to giving Dr. K.K. Sapor and his team all the support they need to make this happen. I've been briefed that all the necessary preparations to commence initial seismic survey. The approval for the award of the contract for the seismic survey will be given soon. And ladies and gentlemen, an occasion like this cannot be complete without recollecting also the gratitude of the Ghanaian nation to the first president of the Fourth Republic, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, for his vision to set up GNPC and the pioneering work in this industry that took place under his watch. And last but by no means the least, I thank my beloved wife, the beautiful Rebecca, who went all the way to Singapore to commission FPSO John Agyekum-Kufuor. Ladies and gentlemen, I now officially declare the first oil of the OCTP field duly commissioned. Thank you, and may God...
And about the oil proceeds? Sound management, efficient management. Our constitution is based, anchored on accountability and transparency in all aspects. It's not just at the highest levels of government, right down to even the private sector. We must all try to be accountable and transparent for the good of the nation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
From day one that this project is a real game changer, not because of the oil, but because of the volumes of gas that is critical for our industrialization. And that is why we did a lot of the things we did, to be able to work to bring the World Bank, IFC, and key players to provide the guarantee, the partial risk guarantee. The energy sector has so much risk, and so if you are producing a resource that has to be sold in the country to ECG, VRA, you clearly know the challenge. But what is really important is that we never give up. I'm very happy that today in the president's speech, he commended President Mahama and his government for the tireless effort. I think that's important. It comes a little late.
Why?
On a day of commissioning. I had wished that we had gotten all the support from the MPP then in opposition. I say that. On a constant basis, this project was condemned when critical investors were here on the eve of the Prime Minister of Italy's visit to this country. The minority had a press conference condemning this very important project. But of course, we now know none of them was true. I think that the lesson for us as a country is that there are things that must stop at the politics, must stop at the political age. And the lesson here is that when MPPs in government, and they are doing things that we know goes to the heart of our country. We have to stand for Ghana.
All right.
I think that is important, and I'm very sure we have been vindicated today.
But 58,000 barrels a day, good for government. But for locals, they are looking for jobs.
Yes.
In terms of local content, how is this helping?
I think it's very important. If you look at the progress we've made in terms of local good, again, you go back and look at the local content airline that was passed. The whole intention is that make sure Ghanaians get more contract. In this project, 1.8 billion has gone to indigenous Ghanaians. In contrast, unprecedented because of the initiative by President Mahama and his government, local content airline. I think if you look at Jubilee, if you look at 10, and if you look at the OCTV, there's a real progression in terms of Ghanaian participation. It's good for Ghana.
My final question will be, GMPC is starting the relocation to the Western region. It's something that you welcome.
I'm very, we are waiting to see. GMPC Foundation is just an entity that does scholarship. What does that mean in terms of, my understanding is that GMPC's operation will be brought to the Western region. As for the foundation, which is a small office that gives scholarship, I mean, it won't have any impact in the Western. I'm waiting for the day where, as the president has promised, the whole GMPC operation will be in the Western region.
Thank you very much.